So they'll say, sorry, so you have to go and get someone with a PhD in car counting, and then someone with a PhD in bat counting, and someone with a PhD in tree counting.
And those bat people have got a license to print money.
Yeah.
They really have. Just as a small aside, we had a bat survey.
Okay.
Low risk, low risk, low risk, low risk, low risk, low risk. But it was outside of breeding season or something along those lines. Mr. Hodson will have to come back in breeding season and do another survey.
At your expense.
Yeah, there's my checkbook.
Okay.
Low risk, low risk, low risk, low risk, low risk, low risk, low risk. But they're using that little bit of hedge to come out of the woods as a highway to the open countryside. We have to see how many of those bats come. We have to come back again and put traps up and count how many bats use that as a highway. Low risk, low risk, low risk, low risk, low risk. But I went, stop, no, low risk, done. Breeding season outside of breeding season, it's done. Yeah. Okay, so there's a little bit of a ruse on there. Okay. Moral of the story, you don't need to go down that planning permission route.
Okay.
I've got an aside for that planning permission as well. Planning permission application. It should be planning permission consultation. You should be in consultation with the council rather than applying for the parent-child relationship, which is a very good analogy, but I won't go into that. Then the last piece is you are handing over that power to subjective people in the council to say yes or no. And that is the biggest thing. They can be qualified. They can be good, they can have integrity, and they can make the right hard decision. But it can also be the other way round.
Okay.
They may have been internally promoted because they were unqualified enforcement officer. They couldn't get any more staff in the council to attract people into the council to actually do their job. So they internally an uneducated enforcement officer into a planning permission role. Okay.
That
uneducated.
Like a car crash.
Exactly. And this is the current landscape of our planning system. You have to ask permission rather than the consultation, and you're asking permission of possibly uneducated, underqualified, weak people, asking them to make a right, strong decision.
Okay.
So don't do planning permission at this point.
Yeah. So, with permitted development, I can live on my land still?
No.
Okay.
No. The permitted development will give you the right to apply for, and bear in mind we're talking about small holding, revolution, on your small holding. It will give you the right to apply for a barn, but there are a number of conditions, and one of the critical ones is that you have to control 5 hectares of land.
Okay.
Now that might change by the time you're watching or listening to this, but at the moment it's 5 hectares, which is approximately 12.5 acres in the UK. All right.
Okay.
So
minimum amount of land
12.5 acres.
I should have.
Yeah.
So when you say control,
yes.
Do I have to buy that whole amount, or can I buy a little bit and then just have a tenancy of some sort or some other land?
Yeah.
Does it have to be attached?
No, it doesn't. This is one of the things that again catches people out because they don't read the rules. And if you again come back to the football analogy, if you were playing a game of football and you didn't read the rules and you were playing by the rules of rugby, you'd get offside, you'd get disqualified, and you'd be kicked out. Well, it's the same in planning. If you don't know the rules and you play the game, you're going to be kicked out as soon as you make a mistake. It's like playing tennis. You might do the best serve of your life, but if your foot's over the line, I'm sorry, that's a fault. It doesn't matter that it was the best ace serve anyone's ever seen, the fastest serve. You broke the rules. So the same goes with this. So it's about understanding and reading and learning the rules. And this is something that we've, Scott and I have spent quite a bit of time, or a lot of time, going through and digesting, and now we're applying that. So the answer to your question is, you don't need and when I started this journey, I thought, oh, I've got to own 5 acres. But reading more deeply, I realised that actually you don't. And but what the reason it's significant is 12.5 acres, 5 hectares, is what allows you the right to register as a farmer under the government's on the government DEFRA website.
Yeah.
So
you're not a farmer until you have control over.
You may well be a farmer, but you're not considered by the authorities as a farmer unless you have that minimum amount of land under your control. So you don't need to own it all, but we believe, and this is where it gets a little bit vague. So we believe that, and from all the research we've done, that it's best to have at least 2.5 acres as the core bit that you own. And under your control in England. Things are slightly different in Scotland. There are different rules on ownership and planning and things like that and what have you. But in England and Wales, although there's a whole different system in Wales called the One Planet development, which allows for development. We talk about that in another episode. But in England, certainly 2.5 acres as if you call it your small holding, and then the balance 10 acres-ish has to be under your control under a farm business tenancy. So,
because I've been looking for land, and there's loads of bits that I've seen that are like
fun
4, 5, 6, 7 acres, and I don't need to write them off. I can still
don't write them off if there's because you might find that you can buy 5 acres and then rent down the road as long as it's not like 3 hours away, as long as it's easily commutable. You know, in a tractor between the two, if you like, or even a pickup or whatever, as long as it's easily commutable between the two, if it adds up to 5 hectares, then you can register the holdings with the RPA, and you will be given what's called an SBI number, and that's a critical piece of, if you like, infrastructure that you need to acquire in the process.
So
you've got the amount of land you need. You've then put in your PD, your permitted development for your agri barn. Okay, so that's what, and you need that to start your small holding for animal feed, for storage of machinery and everything along those lines. Okay. As soon as that PD passes, that permitted development passes that 28 days, and the skilled or unskilled council have said yes, or actually not said no. Which
so
is
can they just be silent? Or can they
they can be silent. Most of our first one was silent. So as soon as it's gone past that 28 days, boom, I'm on the land.
Because that gives you the right under the rules to live on the land for up to 5 years. Usually the planning permission is also 5 years.
I'm going to hold you on this one, David. All right. You said the word live on the land.
Well, sorry.
So technically it's not living. You're staying on the land.
Correct.
In a Caravan Act compliant building, a caravan. Okay.
So it could be a caravan with... go on.
And we'll go into the clarification of that later on, because there's all some fun stuff in innovations around caravans now.
Because I'm going to struggle to get my wife to live in a caravan. So...
How unreasonable of her! Are you sure?
She likes the warmth in winter.
Cuddle her more.
Cold in summer. Caravans are not conducive to idle.
Well, in fact, on that point, you're absolutely right. But we have solutions for that, because there are solutions for every problem.
All innovations now.
So we have caravans that have better insulation than residential homes in this country.
For sure.
Higher than the UK building regs spec.
And still as a caravan.
And still conforms to that. But we'll do that probably in another episode.
So
the whole episode.
We're going to have to.
So you've got your land, whether it's one part or parcels. You've got your SBI number because of that number, and the CPH number, which is
what's the CPH number?
I can't remember what it actually stands for. We'll find it out and put it in the notes. But it's essentially you've got a small holding. You are classed as a farmer. So I think your SBI is your single business identifier. And your CPH number is you're actually you got a farm.
Your farm number.
That is registered with DEFRA.
That's almost like their customer number.
Yeah.
So basically your SBI number is for that business, which is a farm business. You only get an SBI number with a farm, but then the CPH number is the farm,
That's right.
individual farm.
Oh, okay.
And those things are really important because it